How long were Adam and Eve in the garden before they were sent out by God? You know, if you've read the book of Genesis, you've probably thought about this question, and it's actually a very important question. What if there were thousands of years before Adam and Eve were ejected? Well, that would certainly affect how we understand the Bible and what it says about the age of the earth and things of that nature. Is there a way to know how long Adam and Eve were in the garden? Well, actually, the answer is yes and no. No, the Bible doesn't give us an exact, specific time period that they were in the garden. We can't say that they were there for 12 years, 24 days, and 38 minutes. Now, that being said, the Bible does give us an upper limit as to how long they were there. In Genesis 1:14, we read that God created the lights of the sky, the sun, moon, stars, and then God stated, "Let them be for signs and seasons, for days and years." So we can know that by day 4, the sun, moon, and stars were marking the days. But even before that, we see in the creation account that it says that there was an evening and a morning, day 1, an evening and a morning, day 2. So days, as we know them, were being marked by an evening and a morning from the beginning of the first day of creation. And they were functioning throughout that week. Now, Adam and Eve were created on day 6 of creation, and then they were placed in the Garden of Eden. At some point, they sinned, and they were ejected from that garden. And then Eve gave birth to 2 sons, Cain and Abel, outside of the garden. Cain then killed Abel. After Abel's death, we read in Genesis 4:25, "And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son named Seth." Now, let's get to the point. In Genesis 5:3, we read that Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. We then read, "All the days that Adam lived were 930 years." Since we know that days were being counted the first week of creation, and we know that all the days of Adam's life were 930 years, then we can know that he could not have been in the garden any longer than 930 years. But when we consider that Seth was born after Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden, and Seth was born when Adam was 130 years old, then we know the longest possible amount of time for Adam and Eve to have been in the garden would be just shortly before at least 130 years. So the answer simply is that they could not have been in the garden any longer than 130 years. That helps us understand the rest of what the Bible says about the earth, the days of creation, and how long the earth has been around.